Welcome to the Man Up God's Way podcast, a show that dives into the real, raw, and relevant issues for men and their faith, life, and community. Now, your host, Jody Burkeen.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. This is Jody Burkeen with the Man Up God's Way podcast, and I'm excited today for my guest with Kevin Downs here from Kingdom Story Company. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Jody. How are you, man?
Man, I'm excited to talk with you. I've had you on here once before, got to talk to you a little while, and seen a lot. Matter of fact, I've seen all your movies, so I feel like I know you in a really weird way. So thanks for joining us.
I appreciate that.
Well, good. So you guys have a new movie coming out called The Unbreakable Boy, and won't you tell me a little bit about the story and kind of how you guys got a hold of it and how God kind of led you guys to launch out with this movie?
Yeah, it's a true story. It's a father-son story, which, of course, are near and dear to my heart from being in the movie Courageous and all the father-son stories that I've been a part of over the years. And so it was brought to us in a book form about 4 or 5 years ago, and we just fell in love with it. I mean, it's a story about a family and their sort of fight for survival in today's society. And the challenge is they've got a 12-year-old son who's got this rare brittle bone disease called osteogenesis imperfecta, which basically means that his bones are made of chalk. So if he falls or trips, his bones break. And he's also got autism. So it's a sort of a double feature there for him. But what's inspiring is his outlook and his perspective on life is so infectious. And that no matter what curveballs life throws at him, he's got a unique outlook. Whereas, like, if you see a glass of water, it's neither glass half empty or half full. It's got water, and that means it's reason to celebrate. And so I love that about him. I love that about this story. There are so many things. Look, life's tough. Right. It's going to throw us curveballs no matter what happens. But yet how we respond in those situations, I think, is everything. And so at its root, at its core, this is a story of relationships. It's a parable of these relationships of selfless love and how we can respond to people in a way that's selfless and giving of ourselves, even if the right thing to do, even if the emotional thing to do is one that we would not necessarily advise to actually embark on, but yet here gives these examples. There's many entry points into this film, young or old. Obviously, we've got kids involved in the film that are characters, and so there's relationships that play out that'll, certainly have touch points for them. And then, of course, there's the father-son relationship, and then there's the love story between the wife and the husband, the mom and the dad, and how they navigate this family and these circumstances that they're thrown into, and how God ends up being at the center of their life and the resolution and the resolve for the challenges that they face as a couple, as a married couple, as parents to this young man who's got these issues that are at the heart of it. It's got a father's heart in that it deals heavily with special needs. We don't have very many films that kind of tackle those things head on and actually give real solutions or real examples to be able to how to tackle these things in a way that is from a godly perspective, where God is at the center of it. So I love this film for many reasons. Look, it's a movie, so people will go to be entertained. They're going to laugh, they're going to cry, bring a box of Kleenex, and at the end of the day, you're going to want to hug somebody and just really evaluate relationships in a different way.
Yeah, I had the privilege of seeing it, and we took quite a few people from our church. We have a special needs ministry in our church, and we've got a sectioned off in our church where it's a sensory room and all of that. And our leader went with that, and she was just in tears the whole time. And it was just really cool to see that we have not someone that has the bone disease, but we have many of these kids that have autism and everything. And understand kind of the struggles that some of these parents have with that. We do a lot of respite days to give them that time off and just to go out and shop, without the worry sometimes of having their kids along with them. So the story, and much like many of your stories that you guys produce and that you direct and that you put out through Kingdom Story Company, they all have. I like the realism that you guys have with it, and then this story is no different. You've got a father and a mom who just happenstance meet, and then you got a father who struggles with alcoholism and different things like that. And I love how, because really before you guys started making movies, most of the Christian movies or the Christian genre movies were kind of sterile. They were, almost too, well, I wouldn't say too Christian-y. I don't think you can have that, but it was just almost wasn't realistic.
Maybe saccharine is the word you're looking for.
There you go. That's a good word. That's a good word. That's a really good word. But, from Courageous and, Jesus Revolution, and I Can Only Imagine, all the movies that you guys continue to have come out, you always have this realism behind it because, what I think what Christians are missing, or the Christian genre has been missing, is just real life. Yeah. It's not just, praise Jesus, everything's great, and it's the end of the story, so to speak. So I love how you guys bring that realism into the movie, and you did it again with Unbreakable Boy.
Yeah, look, real life, real issues, and then we're also obviously very cognizant of who our audience is.
Right.
We're very careful to make sure we never get into an R-rating situation, even though some of these issues get tough. I mean, Jesus Revolution actually was close to being an R-rated movie because you're dealing with the drug use of the time, and so we had to cut that thing down to make sure that the rating was appropriate, because people, if they don't know us and they've never watched the film, they put a lot of stock into that. Courageous was a PG-13 movie. People are surprised at that, but that's because of the gunplay. Automatically puts it in there. So it doesn't necessarily, because there's PG-13 doesn't mean there's obsessive language or you're taking the Lord's name in vain or nudity or any of those things.
Right.
Sometimes it's things that people just have no idea why it got the rating. And so, if it's PG-13 or less, then we're good with it. But for the most part, with Kingdom Story Company films, you're going to get something that's going to be of a certain quality. And we're never going to offend. We're never going to put people in a position of feeling like they got to go take a shower after they watch a movie.
Right,
exactly. That is certainly not what our hope is. So,
you kind of have in the title of the company, you really can't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. So tonight you have the premiere.
Tonight we have the premiere in New York. Okay. Our cast is in New York doing a lot of interviews on national shows. And so tonight's really a celebration. The real family is here, and we get to see the cast again. And our studio partner, Lionsgate, has been really, really cooperative and helpful in getting this movie out to theaters. And it's a celebration with the family. And so we're doing that tonight, and then it's available. There's previews starting Thursday night, which is tomorrow night, and then Friday opens wide everywhere.
That is awesome. That is great. So really quick, and then I'll let you go. But the boy that you cast in the movie, man, he did a great job.
Phenomenal, yeah. I mean, we weren't sure we were going to make the movie, and our casting director, Jill Anthony Thomas, she found him, and we literally were, if we don't find the right Austin, I'm not sure we can make this because it won't be believable. Right. And when Jacob Laval sent his audition in, we were blown away. We couldn't believe it. And he delivers the performance. You're the producer of the movie. You're going to say that. But I'm like, what? I've been doing this a long time, and I've never seen anybody deliver a performance like this young man. And you really believe that he is that kid. I mean, you just believe it, and it's really incredible. And he gives you all the feels. He is the instigator for all the feels that you want in a movie, and it's just really great.
As soon as I got through watching the movie, I got on. I was like, "Okay, is he autistic? Is he, is he?"
Yeah, that's the question people have. How did he do that? That's incredible. Yeah, no, it's hats off to him.
He did a great job. So, what do you guys have coming up next?
So we go into production on a sequel to I Can Only Imagine. We start filming that in about 6 or 7 weeks. That'll come out next spring. And so we're excited about that. And God's continued to open doors for us with Lionsgate, and they pay for our movies, they pay for the marketing. And because people continue to show up in the theaters, as long as people show up, that's another reason to go out. If you love the movies that we've made in the past, and that's how Lionsgate decides whether or not they're going to finance more of them.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're helping promote as much as we possibly can on our Man Up God's Way social media platform. So we want more quality movies to keep coming out, and that's right. You gotta show up at the movie theaters to make those happen.
That's right. That's right. No, if you like to complain about what Hollywood puts out, this is your chance to make a difference, because your ticket is like a vote. It literally counts.
Right. So. Right. Well, man, thank you so much for taking your time. Enjoy New York. Enjoy the premiere tonight, and I'm praying that this thing does well, like all your movies do, and it continues. You guys continue down that road of making good content for those that are following Christ. So we appreciate it.
Thanks, Jody. Have a good day.
All right, God bless, man. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.